Thank you, Gail. I'm very glad to be here this morning. I've been kind of a silent participant in the Sangha for many years, but I guess it had to change. This morning at 2:15, I woke up wide awake, thinking about what I was going to say. I probably had 100 pages with beginnings and other notes that I had taken, but they all just didn't seem to matter very much as I was laying there thinking about what I could possibly say. I could look out my window and I could see the city lights around me, and I realized that our lives are always full of other people, and other people can sometimes have an extremely profound experience on us. The first Buddhist I met was when I was in high school. He was a Japanese doctor from Nagasaki, and he was studying cardiac medicine at Mount Sinai Hospital in South Minneapolis, and he became a good friend of my family's. We went to a family reunion, and while we were there, we stopped to visit the church, and Dr. Nakagawa came along with us, and he went from statue to statue in the church, bowing profoundly. His generous action, which was, I know, his way of establishing harmony between us and himself, impressed me very much. Then I didn't really get to know anybody else who was Buddhist until I started coming to the Sangha, kind of by accident. But I met Gail's parents, Kimi and Frank. Again, I was impressed by the wholehearted kindness and friendliness and acceptance. And then I started coming to the meetings, and of course I met a man by the name of Sam Honda, who will always live in my heart. And then there was Helen Tsuchiya. I said to Todd one time, I consider her to be a saint. When we look back on our lives, what we are, what we become, what we're becoming, there's always a whole host of people who are present to us in that moment. And that's true as I gather here with you today. We are all journeying together. We are all brothers and sisters on the road. I was teaching literature for many years, and one of my favorite stories was The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn. We relegated it to juvenile literature, which always puzzled me because it's a book with some really profound adult principles. You know the story. Huck Finn must be about 14, 15 years old, and he's getting tired of the foster home he's living in. So together with a runaway slave, they decide to head out for freedom. Their story is what we call in literature a story of the road, even though it takes place on the river. Huckleberry Finn and Jim journey together on a raft, and it's their way of living their life at that particular time. So we're all on a story of the road, every one of us. On the way, Huck and Jim meet various peoples. Some we would judge and some we would judge bad. Huckleberry Finn's father was abusive to Huckleberry Finn, but Jim, the runaway slave, began to function as Huckleberry Finn's father, guiding him and protecting him. And all down that river, they meet other people who influence their lives some way or another. I thought to myself, the story of the road is really important. I wonder if it's important in Buddhist theology. And so I looked it up online, and to my surprise, there seemed like 1 million references to the road. When we're on the road, the most important thing to us is the journey. And that was one of the things that was pointed out in the Buddhist literature I looked at. The journey is more important than the destination. But most of us are in such a hurry to get to the destination that we forget to take time with the journey. So if I leave any message with you at all this morning, it's to take time to make the journey. Let the destination take care of itself. As Buddhists, we are called to live a life of kindliness, loving kindliness, and compassion, and to be truly brothers and sisters to one another. We definitely need that in our day. We all definitely need to make sure that we live our Buddhist convictions with a new intensity so that we can offset what's going on around us. To show what it means to be a community of people who are engaged in loving one another for no other reason than that we deserve to be loved. The Buddha on the road, we're told, signifies the encounter with enlightenment, and it also reflects our life's journey. You might find it strange that as a Catholic priest, I am involved with this Buddhist community. Well, I read a book entitled, "Without Buddha, I Could Not Be a Christian." And this Catholic theologian makes a great point showing us how that the two faiths, the two ways of living, the two attitudes of mind and heart are not divergent, but rather they bring us together. At one point, this man says in his book, Buddha teaches me, no, let me get it right. Jesus teaches me how to be loving and kind and compassionate. Buddha makes me kindness and compassionate and love. So the two go hand in hand, and I don't really see much divergence between the two. When I got up earlier, I told you at 5:15, I went into my kitchen and I had this year's little calendar hanging on my refrigerator. And I turned it over, or I looked at the one that for Saturday, yesterday, and this is what it said. Faith is nourishment for the journey of life. And so that's my message. Let our faith, let our convictions, let our compassion be for us the nourishment that we have as we make this journey of life. In the Catholic Church, we don't preach long. Pope Francis says if you preach 20 minutes, it means you didn't prepare. Well, I probably didn't prepare quite the way I thought I had prepared, but I'm just going to make it brief. Let us love one another, let us be compassionate to one another, and let us walk the journey of life as brothers and sisters.